start recording, not start streaming. We don't want to stream this. That'd be far, far worse for everyone involved.
Leave this entire process in the video.
Yeah, I'm going to. Hey, guys, how's everybody doing? I don't have our intro pulled up. Fuck. God damn it. I don't have the read
Viper
pulled
bad.
up.
We bad. We don't know. Viper is Lee Dog. Also Diamondback Cobra. The Whip.
Hey, guys.
Papa. Second Jesus. Oh, you got the real thing?
I'm Garrett.
And, I will.
And this podcast is detrimental to our mental health. We're two cowards who don't even smoke crack. This is a podcast dedicated to reviewing the musical works of Lee Dog, aka, you know him, he's Viper. Between the two of us, we have 0 years of experience or really professional criticism of any kind. In some ways, this makes us perfect to review Viper because we too know what it feels like to be devoid of any sort of talent. We are in the Thug Quadrilogy today.
Yeah, this is the Thug Trilogy plus a sequel. I know that intro probably seemed a little unprofessional, and it was, but I think that we tried harder than he did on any of these today. If you recall last week, we had one album and then 3 copies of that album that were edited.
Yes.
I don't think that there's a single piece of music today that was worked on for longer than anything last week.
No.
I think all of the edits from last week took slightly longer than what happened here.
I think that you could make, if you were given all of Viper's stuff, all of Viper's, like the raw tracks, the raw vocals and all that type of stuff, you could make all 4 of the albums today in the amount of time that it took him to make one of the albums last week.
Right.
There's not a single piece, correct me if I'm wrong, there's not a single piece of original material on any of these albums today.
That is 100% correct. There's also varying levels of effort put into how well he mixed up the tracks. Well, we can get there when we get there, but various levels of effort when it came to naming the tracks. We'll also get there. I'm
just
bad. Ready to get right into it.
This is legitimately the worst week. I'll say this up front. I have been exceedingly what's the word I'm looking for? I've been exceedingly forgiving of Viper, I guess. I have tried to find something redeeming, anything redeeming on all of the other albums we've listened to. I've tried to have some sort of positive takeaway from it. I don't have a single good thing to say about any of the albums that we listened to this week.
I want to officially apologize to Viper for saying that Thugs of a Feather was the laziest thing I'd ever heard. It was at the time, but I have changed my mind. We'll get there. We'll get there.
So we're going to start with things thugs do, correct? Or are we going to start?
That sounds great. Things thugs do. The 2-hand hanger dunks only mix is the subtitle.
I don't think I listened to that version. I really don't. Let me look it up.
No, that's not the name on like YouTube. It's if you look at the album art, that's what it says.
Oh, you're fully correct.
Things thugs do.
You're entirely correct.
That's just what it is. I think that's like. So this is right away. It's important to note this is a remix, chopped and screwed, whatever version of these rappers claim they hard.
Correct. I hesitate to even call it a. There's barely anything different.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But it is that record again. If you didn't get enough of that record last week, we got more.
By the way, I did listen to a different version. I listened to the I listened to the Hustlers cut.
Okay, so maybe mine, because mine had slight differences.
Okay,
maybe yours
mine had virtually none.
Okay, so mine was he put just the thinnest filter over the original songs. It made it like it sounded like he put himself into a small tin can. Like he was very enclosed. It felt like slightly more claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And then he scrambled the songs up a little bit. and that's about it.
Yeah, he did change for me. He did change some of the order, or the order of some of the tracks. But production wise, I don't think he did anything different. I don't. I could be wrong. I didn't really. I was already fully checked out by this point because I listened to Murder Thug 1 first, so I was like fully checked out by this mistake. Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could be completely wrong, but I don't think on the version I listened to, he may have done like a little bit different. He changed the names and he changed the order of the songs, but I truly could not tell. There were a couple songs that were a little bit different, but they were only very slightly different. And he didn't change the vocals. All he did was change the production on like As I Stang. The Too Fast, Too Furious remix, as I called it. He calls it the
Which is I Shine from the original.
Yes, correct. That I truly could not tell a difference between this and these.
No, rappers. I didn't realize that there was a slight change until Never Fallen, Straight Ballin'. Where I think I listened back to the original and it's like he added another vocal track of himself that was just like slightly offset. So he didn't change the beat any more than he had for the rest of the songs, but I think he just like fucked up the mix on the vocals a little bit. Somehow, even though there's no reason he should have even been messing with it, because he sure didn't do anything to it. I mean, it sounds like we have the same songs in the same order with the same titles.
Yeah, it's just I have the Hustlers cut and you have the two-hand
hanger dunks only. Well,
that's way cooler than Hustlers cut. I'm just gonna say.
I absolutely agree. Did you already go ahead and write down the names of the original songs?
No, I sure didn't.
All right, well then I've got just a couple of names that I'd like for you to guess.
All right, fantastic.
Most of them are incredibly obvious. Like, Hater Resistant is
it's probably hater proof.
That's a great guess, and you're right. And yeah, like Pure Clowner, that's I'm a Clownin'. I'm a Clowner.
Yeah.
CLOWNA. Great. I don't know. Actually, the only one I think that was super changed was World's Top Baller. What do you think the original was for that?
Watch Me.
Close. It was All Girls Love Us.
Yes.
Which still a favorite. Hearing it a second time, at least my favorite from this piece of shit. So
yeah, this was a steaming pile of dog shit.
I did pick up on one new lyric this album that I missed on the first time through.
Okay.
On New Stangs, which on the original was Got Dude Struggling. He says, "New hustles I evaluate. If you're talking to girls, I hold the most weight."
That's pretty good. There was one that I had that from, I can't remember if it was off this album or a different one, but it was another point where he goes, focal point, to rhyme something with focal rather than point, trying to come up with
it was this album. I think it's like, when it comes to how mad they are, these haters are vocal, because when it comes to me, I am their focal.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Something like that. I think that's somewhere on this album.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these, it's like...
That was the only one that I found on any of the 3 albums. I don't have a favorite lyric from Murder Thug or Thug's Passion, because Thug's Passion is...
let's wait.
You're right.
Hold on. I mean, I don't really have any more notes. A lot of the names are terrible.
Yeah.
They're not even creative, like Snake in the Grass. He just made shit up.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Right.
And same with Thugs of a Feather. He like made funny versions of the original. A lot of these are just adding one word. Like, instead of watch me, it's watch me win, which is just the next word in the hook.
Yeah.
Or if it's one of those where he just chants 2 lines back to back over and over again as the hook.
Yes.
He'll just pick the second line instead of the first line. It's like this win has been made. In the original, it was for me to be made. That's just yeah, it's just he took the second line in the original, and now he's going with the first one.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, Viper.
Yeah.
I gave this album a 2. Because I thought it was less offensive than the other edits. Actually, I think it was because it was just so the exact same as the original, and I gave the original a 2.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say it's like a 1.5 out of just laziness, but
yeah, because no other artist ever could get away with this, right? No other artist, including artists who like their careers are chopping and screwing stuff, you could not get away with this because there's so little
total lack of effort. It's impressive. It's one step up from what he also does a lot, which is just re-release the same album over and over and over again without it changing anything. But this is, my God. I say we move on and don't give this any more effort.
I agree.
Things thugs do, don't listen to it.
Don't listen to any of these 4 albums. I'm
no, probably not.
Out. These are the legitimately. I've never been going into one of our recording sessions. I have never been so like just down on it, just down on Viper right now. Just like,
well, let's get to I think rock bottom. I think this is the worst it could possibly get. Thug's Passion. I'll go ahead and give you my rating. I rated it the laziest thing ever.
Okay.
It is, as best I can tell, almost entirely unedited. Hustlin' Thick.
That's correct.
There is exactly one song on this album that has been changed at all.
Yes.
And the tracks are in reverse order.
That's correct.
Other than that, it is identical, but honestly, I was happy to hear it. As soon
I also was.
Isla Bell chimed in, I was like, oh shit, it's fucking Hustlin' Thick. This is awesome.
I wrote it down. I wrote down a note that I thought it was. I kind of thought it was almost remastered because some of the tracks did sound a little bit better production wise. There wasn't as bad of a buzzing noise or recording artifacts on it. So I honestly thought it was Hustlin' Thick remastered, and one of my notes here is Hustlin' Thick is way better than I remember, or it is at least way better than what we've been listening to recently.
I think that's exactly what it is. This is the only thing I gotta be honest, I did not listen through the end of all of these songs on Things Thugs Do or Murda Thug.
Son of a bitch.
Actually, no, I listened through all of Murda Thug, but as soon as I realized what was happening with Things Thugs Do, I said, okay, I'm gonna get through the first hook and the first verse, and if they're all identical, I'm not doing this.
I listened to every single track.
I got through all of Murda Thug, which is very long and slow, but anyway, I listened to every bit of this one because I was just so excited to have a break. It was like getting into dog turds that have already dried.
Yeah.
Instead of stepping in wet ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually have notes for most of these songs if you're interested. I don't know if you took any.
No, I wasn't aware of what it was going to be. I didn't recognize the first song because, like you said, it's in reverse order. But then all of a sudden, I heard Isla Bell come back in, and I was like, "Whoa! Is that my girl?
Yeah.
Is that our girl?"
Yeah. I didn't remember that Shatter existed in the original, to be honest. So,
the first last song. Yeah.
Yes.
I did. The only other note I have for it is I just said I was happy about it. That I was shocked with how much I actually missed Old Viper. But then I also wrote that the album art is actually hilarious. It's just a pixelated picture of his face, but he really looks like if you took the camera in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and drove it all the way into CJ's face. That's what he looks like.
Despite being a real human, he looks like he's made from polygons.
It's hilarious. That's all I have to say about Thug's Passion.
All right, well, I'll go quick then. Shatter, Isla Bell, she sounds really bad on this one, which is weird because normally she's at least like putting in an effort. This was bad, but I was glad to hear her. Grind or Die, which is Ride or Die on the original. It's the only one where there's any change. He extended the intro before his hook comes in by like 40 seconds. So it's not like he added anything. He just kind of looped the opening beat instead of going right into it. Only song with any edits. My Cash is my wife is a hilarious name.
I also had My Cash as my wife.
The original was Married to My Loot,
Yes.
which I guess you could make the argument that that's like that's pretty funny. That's a funny play on words there.
It is.
Ice LaBelle sounds much better on this one than on Shatter. Can't tell this inward nothing. We got some Picardy proof.
Yep, I missed him too. He is even more unintelligible now.
Yes.
I really do think that this is a remaster. I think that because the quality was noticeably better for both the vocal tracks and for the music tracks. And I appreciate that he at least put in that effort for it. And maybe that's where the name comes from, right? Is that he feels that, Hustlin' Thick was his magnum opus. It was his passion project. And so he wanted to re-release it in how he intended it to sound.
I am not convinced that the original version of this album you heard was the same one I did, because I didn't have that buzzing that you were describing before.
Interesting.
So, because I was playing these at one point, I had them open in 2 tabs right next to each other, and they were perfectly identical. But maybe, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, sure, he remastered it. Still, though, why would he release this?
Right, exactly. Because this was not even a Viper album originally, right?
This is Lee Dog.
And I would assume that he's never worked with these people ever again, so I don't know if, they're on good terms or bad terms or whatever it is, but, I never assumed that we would ever hear any of those tracks ever again, so I was very pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I do want to get going. Just I hate that we have to talk about this at all. But King Xavier, he didn't cut him off of the track.
Yes,
he's still here.
Yes,
it's the best side cover winning. I have an opinion here that I think you will agree with. Which, God, we've heard some bad ones, but of all of the features and or samples that Viper has ever used, I think that this King Xavier hook might be the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
That includes the weird, fucking backwards Latin on whatever that was. I think that was these rappers claim they're hard, but it's so bad.
Yeah. There's a sample on Murda Thug that is close, but I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay. Well, then there's Top Ballin', otherwise known as Big Ballin'. I said that listening to this again, I think that this was the precursor to the eyeball for gunshot style, N64.
Yeah.
There's also two guest rappers on this one. Ace, who is absolutely terrible, and then this guy Houston Akalai. The only thing I really remembered from him is that he says crazy, and then another him in the background goes crazy.
Yeah, you're right. I did not look up who was singing that, but I recall the crazy.
So yeah, that's all I had for Top Ballin'. But I just shout out to Houston Akalai. Again, none of these people I could find doing anything else ever. So
yeah. This is Let's. Are you done? Are you done with your notes for Thug?
Oh no, I got more if you're ready.
Jesus Christ! All right, go for it.
I just really wanted to look into who was doing these features because I was so curious. Gotta Be Heard, which I like that hook. Hearing it a second time. The guy who does the first verse, his name is Lucky So Sick.
That's a great name.
He sounds kind of cool. His flow's kind of good, but it seems like he's standing 20 feet from the mic. The next song is called Baller Made, which might sound familiar because he did not bother to change the name for this one. Let's see, How We Ride. G Money does his best with that chorus, which I thought was pretty good. G Money, that's true. You did pretty good on that chorus. This is how we ride. He's trying.
Yeah,
and then he immediately starts the verse and he rhymes motherfucker with itself 5 times in a row.
Yep. We mentioned that in episode 1, actually.
I know. I just really forgot. All right. Then Bring the Noise. He also forgot to change the name.
Lovely.
Still Then there's a guy named Rashid on this song that at the beginning sounds really drunk, and then he pulls it together for a verse. Rap's What I Got, another, forgot to change the name. I also have the note, Popeye and Brutus deserved better than this.
Yep.
Chrome Steady Cuttin',
Also
3 songs in a row 3 songs in a row. I found it was interesting. This is the only song I think I've ever seen on Viper. There is no hook. There is no second verse. The song starts, he sings 1 3-minute verse, and the song ends.
Yes. He was most creative at his beginning. He was most creative before he became Viper.
Yes. G Strollin'. This is Rollin'. This is the other Picardy Proof song and the better Picardy Proof song.
Correct.
Deep in the Hood, which is In the Hood, is Ice Labelle's best effort. It's too bad that the mixing gave her no help.
Yep.
Wow. This one made me really happy. It's Easy to See, which is the great name for It's Plain to See, with our beloved Jay DeJeanette.
I missed her so much, dude.
My note there is Jay DeJeanette could still be out there, just like Bigfoot. I hope I meet her one day. And then while I was looking up just this song, seeing if I could find anything out about it, Viper released a brand new chopped and screwed version of this song with new verses on what would have been 3 days before the recording of this video, February 11th.
Oh my god.
Of 2021. He's still making new versions of Hustlin' Thick from 12 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Awesome. And Jay DeJeanette is still there. It's incredible.
I wonder if she knows. I wonder if she knows about Viper. I wonder if any of the people that worked with him on this know what he's done to them.
I honestly, he put a little bit of effort into this one. It's like genuinely edited. Her sample is like remixed some. It's kind of cool. New beat. He tried. I don't know where this effort was 8 years ago, but whatever. Thuggin' Never Falls. Ice Labelle does not sound too great, but it's because he mixed her like you mix a cake batter when your stand mixer's broken. It's terrible. Her system's bumping. This is absolutely the best Ice Labelle hook, in my opinion.
Yes.
That's it. I think that we should leave this to die.
Well, we can't. I can tell you right now, we are going to hear this again.
We're going to hear this again somewhere.
It may take us years, but we certainly will.
Well, now we get to the twins, if you will.
Now we get to the worst
1 and 2.
The worst piece of the saddest excuse for art that any human being on the planet has ever fucking produced. This is awful. So, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Murda Thug 1 and 2, and probably more later, who knows, are the slow mix / ballers mix / hoopers mix versions of mine was Southwest Hooligan. I don't know which one you had. Was yours Heartless Hoodlum? Did you look it up?
It may have been. I truly did not. Which one had?
He did not.
Which one had 99,000 or 900?
Oh, that's Southwest Hooligan. It's the same one.
Yeah. Okay. Then we got the same one.
Mine also, it's in the exact same order as the original too. It's probably exactly the same as yours.
I'm sure it is. Mine is the FSA B mix C said Hoopers mix of Murder Dog.
Okay, so yours isn't super slow-mo.
Oh no, it is. That's the worst part. Is I can only assume that we listened to virtually the same album. Because I could not, I could not find Murda Thug 2 anywhere that it was any different than what I heard on Murda Thug 1.
I was only able to find either of them on Spotify. Also, while I'm thinking about that, I don't know if you have been using Spotify at all for Viper, but his Spotify is a fucking disaster.
I have not touched it.
Have you been on there?
No.
Oh my god. Well, for one thing, it's split. There's an official Viper, just Viper, and there's also Viper the Rapper.
Fuck yeah.
And, like, all of his, I guess, better, if you want to call them that, albums, like the Hiram Clark Hustlers, the Southwest Hooligans, the originals, those kind of things.
Yeah.
The actual, I have some original content. are on Viper the Rapper, but just Viper has. You see those numbers about him having like thousands of albums? That's where they are.
Yeah.
And there it's stuff like he'll release like fucking Southwest Hooligan with the exact same art and cover and name
Jesus.
like 6 times in the same year.
Jesus
or
Christ.
It'll be like, it's just terrible. And then around this time on Murda Thug 2 and probably 1, I didn't see the album art, in the 2012-2013 range, he started just putting like softcore porn on the front of every single album cover.
Murda Thug 1 and Murda Thug 2 have the same album art. I did look that up.
He stopped in like 2019, and he just as soon as he got gray hair, he started just taking pictures of his face with like his gray beard and just putting that on there, and it's just like him smiling at you, giving you a little grin.
Jesus Christ.
But there's like a 6 or 7 year period where you're scrolling through hundreds of albums, and they're all just random like naked women covering their censorable bits in like various positions.
Absolutely.
And with just the worst names. Some of them are just nonsense, of course, but some of them are just like completely derivative. It'll be like Southwest Hooliganizer, or just like barely an edit. It'll be, hustling that, or like hustling Wick, or just like barely tried, and it's the same album art.
Yeah.
Or it's like Viper's face edited over a naked woman, or just there's one that's a picture of like a monster under a kid's bed, and he put his face over it, and the hand that's like raking the kid's toys under the bed, he photoshopped like money. So that he's like the album's called like The Payday from This Rapper Game, making me sleep good at night, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And it is awful.
I really did not when you texted me about this podcast idea, I really did not know truly what we were getting into. It is so much worse than I was expecting.
We're probably going to go through a period of, I would guess, 10 to 20 episodes worth of random chopped and screwed albums that are just naked women on the cover.
Yes.
This is hell. This is purgatory. We're going to be here forever.
My favorite part about Murda Thug and Murda Thug 2, their box art, is that it is slightly pixelated. The woman, he clearly he changed, he cropped the image, and it like distorted it so she's wider than she's supposed to be, and then he put a picture of himself and made it far thinner than it's supposed to be. And all I can tell the difference between Murda Thug and Murda Thug 2 is Murda Thug has Viper, and then his picture right below it, and then Murda Thug on the right. Murda Thug 2 has Viper the Rapper, and it's his picture's in the bottom left, and it says Murda Thug 2 on the right side. So all that has changed is the position of Viper's weirdly small cropped face, and he changed Viper to Viper the Rapper for Murda Thug 2.
Yeah, and I believe he uploaded Murda Thug 2 onto the Viper the Rapper account, and the other one is on Viper's account.
Yeah, this is bizarre. This is legitimately one of the worst things ever.
I do have just a handful of notes as we go, but most of my notes are just the length of time of my life that I wasted listening to these. So as I go through, feel free to stop me if you come up with something for one of these. But I think it's best to just try to swim through here. That sound good?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. All
right, so It's Me. That is 5 minutes and 4 seconds. I remember
my first note.
when you was in love with me. Yeah, okay.
My first note, oh God.
Yeah, my first note was oh fuck, but that was that's pretty good. I remember when you was in love with me. 5 minutes and 45 seconds.
Correct. Note 2.
I want to blow, kill, and blow. Oh, yeah, okay.
Note 2. Calling it right now. This is the worst album.
Okay, hey, I think you're right. Worst name, by the way. I want to blow, kill, and blast on them. That's 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Southwest Hooligan, 5 minutes, 8 seconds.
Yep. Next
I'm
note.
Gone Ball and Never Fall.
Next note is this is actually unlistenable.
It is borderline, especially because most of the beats are just it's just the slowed down version of the original.
Yep.
Hustlin' and Winnin', that's a flat 5 minutes and 30 seconds. They Ain't Feelin' Me, this is 6 minutes and 8 seconds. For the first time this album, the beat actually sounded okay. Obviously, it still sounds dumb, but it's one of those like N64 menu screen songs, so slowing it down is just, oh, it's fine. His vocals are still bad because he sounds like a reject Monsters Inc. character.
Yeah, I had a note that God, this is awful.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. Now the climax. We've reached the peak of the mountain here.
Having fun, mate?
Oh, mine is Time to Shine and Climb from My Grind.
That's awesome. That is Viper getting all of the pieces of the Viper robot together, and they're forming into the giant fucking Megatron that's going to take out the entire rest of the Eastern Seaboard. God
my note was
almighty.
that he must have stolen this from that Twitter that generates fake album and song names for Viper. By the way, that is 6 minutes and 26 seconds long.
Yes, that's correct.
Then we get I'll Be Off Probation, 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Jesus.
The space is required. I have here's a note. Here's an interesting one. So on this song, which I remember you despised when we heard it the first time for good reason.
Correct.
There's a sample on this song that I never bothered to care about last time, but I had to be doing something while I was listening to this. The sample on this song, where this man is talking about, like, you're my good luck charm, baby, never gonna lose you or something. It's a sample from the hook from R&B quartet Jagged Edge, their song Good Luck Charm. Interesting note about Jagged Edge, one of their members, Kyle Norman, is currently serving a 15-year prison sentence because he shoved an engagement ring down his now wife's throat.
Oh my God.
He was released on parole, and he violated that parole by trying to stab his son, who is a child.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So this is the kind of man that Viper wanted to put on the album.
That he aspires to be.
So that's I'll Be Off Probation, which I think is a funny name, considering there's a sample from a man who did get off probation
and then stabbed his
whatever, and then immediately tried to stab his son.
I had a note for this song, which was, how can I choose a favorite lyric when every song is entirely unintelligible? All vocals are completely non-existent, as far as I'm concerned, on this album.
That is correct. You cannot hear anything. It's awful. You would think that slowing it down would make it easier to hear. Like in most rap, I feel like that's something people complain about. Like, oh, it's too fast. I can't hear what he's saying.
Sure.
That's definitely not the issue.
Yeah.
And these two albums prove it.
Yep, that's it, 100%.
How about My Life Being Famous? That's 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, it was the name was different on my album. It was My Life Being Infamous.
Oh, what a change.
Nothing else about it is different.
No, there's that sample. Again, I had to do something. There's a sample where the guy goes, 4 minutes, something, 4 minutes. It's a song by a guy named Avant. I had never heard of this dude, but apparently he has 4 platinum records, so good for him.
Yeah.
Maybe the most popular artist that Viper is
directly
taken from, at least by this point, so I don't know. How about the most bitter song in the world, 9,900 Haters on the Wall?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Go ahead.
I actually really enjoyed that he brought this. I remember you liking this song on our original listen, and it grew on me, even though it is infinitely worse than the original. This was probably of all of them. This was my favorite.
I agree. The beat slowed down is actually kind of beautiful. Like, I don't know how to describe it. There's like something about the way that the synth slow down is like kind of pretty. Of course, the way you can actually tell more now, I think, that he was not rapping on beat to this song.
No,
I don't think that this was the original beat for the original song, and that he rapped over something else and then just threw this behind it.
Lovely.
And it was close enough. But slowed down, you could totally tell, because it's like this like pretty nice, just almost like classical sounding, and then he is just so far off that it's totally ruined. But it is 4 minutes and 57 seconds. It is, again, considering that he wrote this to the people who actually listened to his song and didn't buy it, called them all haters, said that he didn't care for like 2 minutes, and then said, if you come on my block, I'll kill you on sight. What a hero. People support this guy.
Absolutely.
I don't understand.
This was also the one of only 2 songs on this entire album that the lyrics are intelligible, that you can actually hear what is being said. And the reason I know that is because the only reason I recognize these 2 songs is because they were intelligible. The lyrics were intelligible. It's this one, and then
nice.
I believe it's the next one. It may not be the next one. I don't have the track listing in front of me, but the bedtime story.
Mark's steady clicking.
It may not be that one. It's the one where the hook is.
That's What Up.
Yeah.
It's your bedtime.
Yeah. Bedtime story.
Yeah. Well, let's get there as soon as we can. Mark's steady clicking. It's only 3 minutes and 51 seconds, which sounds kind of strange, but I don't know if this was true for yours. But on mine, he forgot to put the slow filter on.
Oh no! It was every song on mine.
Okay, for this song exclusively, his voice is normal, but the beat is slow.
Fuck yeah.
So, I guess, cool.
That was on purpose.
That's definitely not in. Yeah, no.
That was intentional. So. That was fully intentional.
Most of these rappers is Tricks. That's 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? I have hearing It's Yo Bedtime Story inward in that Monsters Inc. voice is really, really an interesting experience you could not get anywhere else on the planet.
Yeah, that was the last note that I took, and my note was Bedtime Story. Fuck yeah, because I fucking love this song. I believe on Southwest Hooligan.
You do like this one.
Yeah, Southwest Hooligan, that was my favorite lyric, was bedtime, it's your bedtime story, inward was my favorite lyric on the original. Remains so exactly to this true. Day.
Well, that, I don't actually, I think that's going up this week, right?
Episode 3, yeah. Episode 3 will be up on Wednesday.
That's great. The last one, the glorious end, Boys Know, 3 minutes and 54 seconds. The beat, for whatever reason to me, I thought it sounded like, you know those commercials where they tell you not to drink and drive?
Yeah.
And it's like they're leaving the space and everything sounds kind of woozy. Mm-hmm. And like there's like sirens blaring and lights flashing in your face. That's how this song sounds and feels.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. The only note that I had for this song was that this was the closest I ever got to quitting halfway through. I've listened to every album that we've listened to. I've truly given every single one, not necessarily a chance, but I've given them a full listen. This was the first week, and it was because of this album that I was like, maybe I'm just gonna stop listening. Maybe I'll just move on to the next one. I didn't. I was strong. I stayed through. But this was also the first one I listened to this week, which I think was a mistake. Because
that helped. This was the last one I listened to.
I would prefer it that way, because then you're like, I just got to get through this last fucking album.
Yeah.
It was the first one I listened to, and I could only assume, based on the fact that it was the first one that I listened to, I was like, they're all going to be this. They're all going to be remixes of old albums just like this. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is hell. This is the worst thing I've ever gotten myself into. But when I finished this album, that last song, my only note was, Please Kill Me. because I had entirely lost the will to live. I gave this album a -10 out of 0.
I gave it a 0.5 out of 0. So, I have some additional thoughts just in general for this week, if you would like to hear some.
Absolutely.
So, I was just really scrounging for something to talk about because I knew we'd need it.
Tear up my notes, sorry.
The official Wikipedia page for Chopped and Screwed.
Oh, interesting.
Which it's from this DJ named DJ Screw. And apparently it's like a popular thing in Houston, and there are a lot of people who did it well, and you're supposed to do a lot of remixing.
Yeah.
But the thing that made it different is that you also like pitched down the vocals.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Viper's just really lazy about it. But what's interesting about this page is that there is exactly one page in the See Also section, and I want you to guess what you think it is.
Is it
what
Viper?
does Wikipedia think you should also look at? No.
What is it?
It is Nightcore.
What?
So, my next question is, have you ever listened to Nightcore?
No!
So, what is your favorite Nightcore song?
What the fuck is Nightcore?
You never heard of Nightcore?
No!
Oh, it's like slightly sped up, slightly pitched up, like remixes of songs. So it's effectively the exact opposite of Chopped and Screwed.
The Viper is the devil on our shoulder, and Nightcore is the angel.
You could argue that Chopped and Screwed is Daycore.
Jesus Christ. That's
Also,
the worst thing I've ever...
I can't believe you've never heard of this. Nightcore, for all of you regular humans who had an age of 14 to live, is named after this like Swedish band that's just called Nightcore. So there you go. There's your Nightcore lore.
Interesting.
I have more facts if you'd like to hear. These are about Houston specifically.
I had one thing. Apparently there is talking about Chopped and Screwed. Apparently there's a trend on TikTok. I do not have a TikTok.
I do not either.
But apparently there's this trend where TikTok people were like, guys, you got to listen to this new way to remix music. It's called slowed and reverb. All you do is you slow the song down and you add some reverb over it, and it just makes it, a lot more atmospheric and hazy. And then there were a ton of like 30-plus-year-old people who were like, "You're just making Chopped and Screwed. Like, what are you talking about?"
Wow.
Which I think is pretty great. Not only that they thought it was original, but that they named it the worst name ever of slowed and reverb.
They should have gone with Daycore.
Should have gone with Daycore.
So here's a fact. Since we've already decided we're going to be moving into Hiram Clark, I figured we should learn about the local laws and customs.
Oh, good. Yes.
So here's something. I know this is going to affect you. In Houston, it is illegal to sell Limburger cheese on Sundays.
To sell what?
Limburger cheese. The stinky kind? But only on Sundays. Otherwise, it's free game. But
why is that going to affect me, asshole?
I don't know.
I like stinky cheese.
I thought you might be a cheese guy.
I mean, yeah, really. I don't know. I think I'm developing a lactose intolerance as I get older. I was never lactose intolerant as a kid. I loved cheese growing up, and I loved cheese all the way through like college. But like every time I eat like a pizza or mac and cheese or something that's like really, really, really cheesy, it fucks my stomach up. Which is disappointing because like mac and cheese is like my comfort food. Right. And now it just obliterates my stomach. I was almost late to work last week because I ate dinner really late and I had mac and cheese. And then the next morning, I just could not leave the toilet for like the first 20, 30 minutes after I woke up.
Wow.
It's pretty fucking miserable.
Well, hey, we both like Sundays, right? Well, this is actually something it's considered so weird that Houston does it, but our state, or at least some counties in our state, which I don't think this gives it away because this is like a thing in several states.
Yeah.
The way that this law is written, beer, specifically beer, not just alcohol, beer, may not be purchased after midnight on a Sunday.
Right.
However, it can be purchased on Mondays at any time.
Yes.
So, at what point is it after midnight on Sunday and also not a time on Monday?
Well, I believe that's like you can't. You have to. It's Saturday night, not Sunday night midnight. It's like,
Oh no, this is in Houston. They do Sunday nights.
okay, that's stupid. In our state, it's the Saturday
and it's
night.
just beer.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't. I don't even think that's a law
Right.
anymore. I'm pretty sure they got rid of the blue laws here fairly recently.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
Certain grocery chains still choose to enforce it, however.
interesting. That's very
Yes.
interesting. I remember vividly one of the times when we were in college, one of our friends driving him, because I was the only sober person to the 24-hour grocery store that was near
yeah.
us.
Yep.
And him having to go, because he was 21, none of the rest of us were 21, him having to go in,
Yeah.
buy the alcohol, trashed out of his mind, and I vividly remember him bringing the thing to the cashier, and she said, "Hey, sorry, it's 2 minutes after midnight. I can't sell this to you." And him having to like almost break down in tears as he went and put it back up. That is a vivid memory for me.
I think even at that time, the laws were no longer in effect, but that is the specific chain that still holds those laws.
Okay.
So
It's not
you
your
know.
it's not your Aldi. Your Aldi doesn't do that, right?
no, they do not. They fought a war over that, right? That's why you got Aldi Norths and Aldi Souths. That was actually for cigarettes why they split, but
Really?
yeah,
It's interesting.
yeah,
I did not
Yeah,
know that.
there was two brothers that owned the franchise after their parents died, and one of them wanted to sell cigarettes, and the other thought it was like sinful, and so instead of coming to any kind of agreement, they just said, okay, well, you take half of the business and I'll take half. And
That's awesome.
so the guy who wanted to sell cigarettes, I'd say they've been equally successful. They basically just split every country. They're like, you can have the North or the South or however they want to do it.
Yeah.
Except for the United States, where they both have stores. The reason why you don't see Aldi Nord and Aldi Sur is because Aldi Nord, I think, is just Aldi, and Aldi Sur is Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that Trader
Yeah.
Joe's was owned by Aldi. Because
Yeah.
I remember I thought Trader Joe's was like a rich person grocery store until I actually went there, and everything is way cheaper than it is at any other
Yeah.
grocery store because it is just like Aldi. It's like Aldi and Whole Foods bastard child is the way I think I would describe.
It is.
Trader
That's
Joe's.
exactly right, and they have the same. It's the same concept as Aldi. You make your own. You control your own production. You control your own products. You don't carry national brands, and you just have to make your products worth coming and buying, whether that's because they're cheaper or better, or in some cases both. And
Yeah.
you have a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Trader Joe's, man. I live in the middle of bumfuck now, as you know.
Yes.
I drive about 50 minutes once a month to go to a Trader Joe's specifically because I love Trader Joe's. And I spend like $200 there to buy most of my food for the month.
Yeah, that I do. I currently drive about the same distance to the closest Aldi to do the exact same thing. So
Amazing.
it's worth it because I've
Brand
discovered that
loyalty.
going to that Aldi is cheaper. It's actually cheaper even with gas included by a significant margin than just buying groceries where I live.
Yeah. And is that the Aldi that you used to work at too?
No, it is not. No.
No.
That would be slightly farther.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. You
I
got
would
any-
also never go back there.
When I go back to the fast food restaurant that I worked at when we were in college, it does not matter. I went back up there for my birthday. I went back up to where we went to college for my birthday a couple weeks ago. And it had been, I guess, let's see, we graduated like 2 years ago. It's been
What?
it's been six
Yeah.
it's been 6 years since I worked at that fast food chain. As soon as I go through the drive-through, I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I make eye contact with the manager for 1 second, and she goes, "Oh, it's Garrett," and comes to the window, and I have to have the like weird, awkward conversation with somebody that you used to work with that like is still at the place you used to work at, and I had to be like, "Yeah, I graduated school.
Yeah.
Like I'm I've moved on in this world. I'm never fucking coming back. Please stop begging me to come back to this restaurant. It was rough.
I hate that. I hated that job. Yeah, I did not like that job. So it's mostly just, it's not even like most of those people as people. They were fine. Although it's kind of interesting. Despite it being a grocery store job, you start with a higher wage. You typically start above like $10 or $12.
Yeah,
which is really good. But they work you to death. But whatever. But they give you like health insurance and good stuff. So this is like if you're a career retail or grocery employee.
Yeah.
You want to eventually, you want to start somewhere else. This is what I was told by the 90% of the people that work there who are well into their 30s or 40s. It's, you want to start somewhere else and get management experience so that you can transfer and get a job at Aldi and start being a manager, because that's like good money and you get insurance and like all this stuff.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's
how it is at every place.
Like 6 months, and I was ready. I thought I was going to be injured at any moment.
Yeah.
I felt like my body was quitting on me, and I was at 20, 21 years old. I was in my physical prime. I don't know. I should have been able to handle that better. And the thought of people that I was a coworker with having worked there for 10, 12 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you okay?
Yeah.
Once you retire, you just gonna wither into dust?
Dude, I've never been more miserable. When I worked the morning shift, I had to wake up at that was when we were freshmen at our college. You weren't allowed to have a car on campus for the most part. We could get but
yeah,
certain exceptions, but I wasn't able to get an exception. Luckily, the restaurant that I worked at was sort of within walking distance from our campus. It was a solid 30
it was
minutes.
A bus and a walk.
Yeah. And originally I got the job and was like, oh, I'll just ride the bus. It's easy. And then they started making me have the morning shift. And by morning shift, I mean opening shift, meaning that I had to be at that restaurant where we did breakfast we opened up the doors for breakfast at 4:30. So I had to be there at 4. So I had to leave my house or leave my dorm room at 3:30 in the morning, walk to the fucking to the restaurant, open because I was a shift manager. Dude, I was so fucking miserable. I was more depressed then than I've ever been in my entire life. And there were people that had been there for years and were like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I just deal with it. It's the only job I've ever had. I'll just stick with it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I often think about employees at your restaurant. If you had one of those right next to a cookout that it closes at 4:30. What are the interactions like of someone going into work at 4:30 and someone who's leaving work at 4:30?
Absolutely, Jesus, that would be really funny. I would actually really like to see that.
Yeah, who wins the fight? If there's a war between cookout closers and your restaurant openers.
Bojangles openers. I think cookout closers probably take it. Actually, I don't know. No, I take that back. Because a lot of the cookout closers are
meth heads.
Well, they're either meth heads or they're high school students. For whatever reason, high school students that need money are just fuck it. I don't sleep anyways. I'll just make money for not sleeping. I think that the grown ass adults that are Bojangles openers take that. I think Bojangles takes it.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I was avoiding saying Bojangles, because that doesn't region lock us at all. That doesn't give it away.
Yeah, that's we're somewhere in the southern sector.
Yeah, and we've already said that. I don't know why I was avoiding saying Bojangles.
I was just gonna let you do it. I didn't know if there was a reason. I didn't want to be dumb.
No.
Well,
what time are we at?
I don't know.
We're about 56 minutes in. That's close enough.
I think we beat episode 2. Well, hey,
maybe.
What's that? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying maybe.
Would you like to hear what we have in store for next week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me write that down so I don't forget.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
All right, so next week we have a fearsome foursome. The rest of the albums that came out in 2010. So first we have Gleam, which don't worry too much. This is a one-song album.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Believe it or not, the one song. Guess what? The one song on Gleam is called.
I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say it's not called Gleam.
You are absolutely correct. I think we might have mentioned that already, but
maybe.
Yes, it is not Gleam. It's the one song that was on one of those random remixes that wasn't from the albums we'd already heard. Whatever. Then we have Concrete Jungle.
Great name. You ever played Predator Concrete Jungle?
No, I don't think so.
It's a pretty good game.
Next we have A Hustler's Life.
And then
Life. The next one, this is going to be good. It's got the name. It's Grind to Shine.
Oh, I've actually seen Grind to Shine get suggested to me a lot. That one seems to have a lot of views. I hope that it is mostly original.
I know for a fact that Gleam, the one song, is an original. I think Grind to Shine is at least partially. I have no idea about A Hustler's Life, and I don't think Concrete Jungle is original at all. So it's a mixed bag.
All right. And you know what? Gleam is only one song, so there's something to take away. When you're listening to them next week, just remember that of the four, one of them is one song long.
Right, and that's why I know we did 3 this week, and it worked out pretty well. I thought about just leaving Gleam off, but it's the one thing we haven't heard yet that he's done.
Yeah, I think that was.
And we're going to get into. I think the week after this, we've got some original, like another big original that then gets remixed a bunch. So we'll get there. But yeah, this is going to be good. The Fearsome Foursome.
Fuck yeah! All right, I'm Garrett,
and I'm Will,
and this has been Two Cowards Who Don't Even Smoke Crack. We'll see you guys next week.